Hi guys, you'll have to ignore the mess in the master. I wanted to show you guys the freaking deer, okay? So yesterday when Tracy and I were here working, there was, I don't know how well, the sun is not helping right now. There we go. There was 11 deer just like chilling right here, right outside of the window. And it was just amazing getting to watch them and just like observing them being so close to the house. Like the one was actually right up against the fence here, just like eating, chilling, hanging out, having a good old time. And it's amazing. The amount of wildlife that is here is just such an abundance. Like I had showed you guys out back how there was all these different like deer tracks and all of this stuff. And up front here, when I had left that day, I had happened to look and like walk around the barn to see, and it honestly looked like there was so many deep holes and fissures in the snow that it looked like the craters of the moon. And I was like, my God, that's insane. That's so many and stuff. But it's all from the deer. So I was watching earlier the bigger deer, the one that's that one right there. That one's probably the mama. She actually first come up and like walked over and started like pawing at the snow to pull it away so that way they could get some grass. And it's amazing. So like for me, not just as a hunter, like that this is cool, and not that just the fact that like we enjoy eating deer meat. We don't usually buy beef ever. We haven't really done that for, I don't know, the whole time we've been together. So me and Tracy have been together for like 13 years now. So it's been for a very long time that we have not had to buy beef because of having hunters in the family or me getting a deer or two, and different things like that. So it's a huge sign of abundance for us here, but also to know that the landscape here can handle people to be able to hunt and stuff. Where we were living at previously, well, technically we're still living there, but this is definitely home. Where we were at previously, I'll just let you guys watch the deer while I talk. Where we were at previously, that's a broken screen. It's got to get replaced, but where we were at before, there was not very many deer there, and each year that we were there in the last 3 years, like we've just watched and noticed the deer population just dropping again and again and again, to where I didn't hunt there at all this year. I did a little tiny bit, and then I decided very quickly on that it didn't feel right, that the population wasn't big enough, that the deer were struggling there because of all the fracking and the oil well stuff going on in that area. I think they were losing just way too much habitat. But the deer here, like we've seen herds of deer right up the road here that were like 40 or 50 in number, just like standing right by the road, just watching and stuff. A couple weeks ago, I had actually seen a flock of wild turkeys, and there had to be at least 50 of them, and it was just right in that same area that big flock of deer or herd of deer was at. And like I said, yesterday there was 11 of them just like standing in this area, just a small patch of grass, just removing all of the snow and all that stuff just so they could eat. And it just feels absolutely amazing to be able to just right outside my bedroom window watch them like this. That fence that you guys can see is actually only about 10 feet from the house, from the bedroom window. So I mean, that's how close the deer will come and stuff. And like we were like, well, that sounds wrong, but we were banging a bunch of tools around and making noise and having music playing and stuff. And we were even standing here talking like I am now. And it was just like, they could care less. Like they have no concern about what I'm doing or anything. They're just at such peace. But I gotta move how you guys are. That's hurt my arm. But so, yeah, the other thing too that makes it feel even more amazing is that knowing that deer are the only cousin of goats, the only relatives that deer have also is goats. So to see that the deer can handle this landscape so well, and that this is such a high desirable place for them to come and eat, them to come and lay down and stuff. That was the other thing too. Yesterday, earlier on, before all them deer had happened, I had stepped outside to get some fresh air, and I had watched a deer out behind the back barn just like pull out some of the snow and then like slowly lay down to make herself a bed. And I just thought, wow, this place is so magical. It's so beautiful to just be able to observe this. And like the deer didn't care that I was standing there watching her or anything of the sort like that. And it was just felt amazing. But the other thing too is to know that not only is this place abundant for us to be able to hunt for our own meat and stuff, but to know that the deer are so happy here that even with all of my fencing being put up and all of the land being so disturbed and everything being so changed, because this house has been vacant now. The previous owner has been dead for like 2 years. So it's been 2 years since any human activity has really happened here and stuff, for the deer to just be like, oh yeah, hi humans, how is it going? We're just gonna take a nappy nap over here. We're just gonna eat some grass and all that stuff. For us to know that this place is just that rich, that the pastures are gonna be that rich, that the deer have actively sought out to come back to here, even though it's more difficult for them to get access to here because of my fencing and stuff, for them to just be like, no, this is where we have to go. This is where the good food is. This is where the pasture space is. This is where the grass is. Tells me that the pasture that we have for the goats is going to be phenomenal for them. It's going to have all of the greens that they need, that they desire, and that our hay bale is going to drastically just, which is going to be amazing because we're moving pretty far away from our hay dealer, so it would kind of suck to have to go and find somebody else to do our hay, just because our goats are very picky and they really like that particular hay. But I mean, in the same regard, moving here, I mean, we're probably going to use a 10th at most of the amount of hay that we have at the other house. So I mean, it's amazing. I'll leave you guys with watching the deer for a moment. It's just so cool watching them. Like, it just brings a lot of peace to just know that this is my reality now, to know that there's just so much peace and so much abundance and so much beauty just everywhere, that it just I can't help but to feel amazingly blessed and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with the deer for a moment and then shut you guys off, so then that way I can get a few things cleaned up in here, because it's an active construction zone and stuff. It actually was, I realized yesterday whenever we tried to hurry up and walk over here to watch the deer, that there was so many trip hazards that it made it very difficult to move around, and kind of one of those times where it's like, all right, time to clean your stuff up. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.